What is up, guys? Jordan here from Show Me Vegas. Welcome back to the channel. It's that time again. Time for your quarterly Vegas news and updates video. This time for winter 2025-2026. I know it hasn't been quite 3 months since the last update video here on the channel, but quite frankly, those have been a little bit late, and I wanted to get this one out before winter technically begins, so you're ready ahead of time. Before we get into everything new, everything newsworthy, and everything coming soon to Las Vegas this winter, let me do two things. First, I want to just say thank you for your support of the channel this year. It truly has been a banner year for Show Me Vegas in terms of views, subscriber growth, engagement, you name it. But secondly, I wanted to ask you to take a look down at the bottom of your screen, whether you're watching on a phone, a tablet, your computer. See if you're one of our subscribers, and if you're not, please subscribe. Get this, despite the fact that the channel has grown by leaps and bounds in 2025, more than 75% of the views here on the channel come from non-subscribers, which tells me there's plenty of room for more growth. My ultimate goal is to get this channel to 100,000 subscribers, and you can help. It's totally free. On the channel, you'll find a wide array of Las Vegas hotel reviews, food reviews, news and updates, and other fun stuff that you're sure to enjoy if you like Las Vegas, so hit that subscribe button, you won't regret it. Alright, now that you've subscribed, let's get into it. Alright, the lead story this year in Las Vegas, at least for the last 6 to 9 months, has been visitation, so let's start this off by talking once again about visitor statistics. Essentially, there's no change to what we've seen for the past 6 months or so, and that's that it is down. In September 2025, just more than 3.1 million people visited Las Vegas, which sounds like a healthy number, but actually, that's down 8.8% over last year. Year to date, through September, Las Vegas has drawn 28,900,000 visitors, which is 7.9% down from last year. There was hope amongst casino executives that the fall would begin a tourism rebound, but the early indications are, obviously, that hasn't been the case. There is good news on this front, however, as it seems like they're finally beginning to admit that pricing in Vegas has or had gotten out of control. One of the most powerful executives on the Vegas scene, MGM Resorts CEO Bill Hornbuckle, said recently that casino operators lost control of the narrative. He said, and I quote, "When we think about pricing and things that got everyone's attention, whether it's the infamous bottle of water or Starbucks coffee at Excalibur that costs $12, shame on us." He acknowledged, particularly at lower-end properties like Excalibur, that you can't have a $29 room and charge $12 for coffee. It just doesn't make sense. He went on to say that they're now looking at those things and they've price corrected. If you've been to Las Vegas in the past few weeks, have you noticed any difference? Comment down below, I'm interested to hear. At the time this video releases, I'll be in Vegas myself, so I'll certainly be testing out that assertion. Now, MGM's Bill Hornbuckle wasn't the only one who admitted some fault. Caesars Entertainment CEO Tom Reeg said on a recent earnings call, "I don't discount that there are areas in our business and in Las Vegas that might have gotten over their skis pricing-wise." Gee, you think so?
Do you think so?
What is it they say the first step to solving a problem is admitting that you have one? Well, executives in Las Vegas are finally starting to admit that, so hopefully that means more deals are on the way. Now, I don't think for a second that cheap buffets and 99-cent shrimp cocktails are on their way back to Las Vegas, because after all, loss leaders are a thing of the past and they're not coming back. But there certainly have been some noticeable changes since the end of the summer, like the Caesars $300 deal where you get 2 nights and a $200 dining credit for $300, and casino bars at Caesars are dropping the price of domestic beer to $5 across the board. Even MGM brought back $5 blackjack to Excalibur. Station casinos have been offering some great deals lately, so it is apparent they're adjusting. It might be a little slow, but if tourism numbers keep coming in 8 to 10% below last year, you can bet that the deals will continue to come. Stay tuned. Alright, this being the winter updates video, let's talk about what it's like to visit Vegas in the winter, and I personally think it's a great time to visit. Don't be afraid of the weather. There are a lot of people out there that want you to believe it's quote-unquote cold in Las Vegas, and while that's a matter of relativity, unless you're from the deep south or Southern California, you'll be just fine. December is the coldest month of the year in Vegas, not January, and the average daytime highs remain in the mid-50s. Yes, it drops into the 30s overnight, and yes, that Vegas wind is no joke, especially when it's chilly outside. But by and large, the winter weather in Vegas is quite pleasant. By the end of February, you'll even find the normal high is in the mid-60s, and it's not unusual at all to find some days in the 70s. And keep in mind, in my opinion, it is oppressively hot indoors. They crank the heat, and if you're dressed in jeans and a sweater on that casino floor, you better hope you have a presentable t-shirt underneath it, because if you're like me, you're going to be shedding layers. While we're on the topic of weather, do note that pool season is officially over, but that doesn't mean you can't find an open pool in Vegas in the winter. because there are a number of hotels across the valley that keep at least one of their pools open and heated year-round. The list includes Mandalay Bay and MGM Grand, although they do both shut down their lazy rivers and Mandalay Bay does close the wave pool. Park MGM, Aria, Bellagio, Caesars Palace, Venetian and Palazzo, Wynn, Resorts World all continue to offer a pool to their guests in the winter months. Downtown, you can still swim at the Downtown Grand or the Plaza, and of course the best pool to visit in the winter, and it's not even close, is Stadium Swim at Circa. They keep all of their pools heated to north of 90 degrees, and they also continue drink service, cabana rentals, and almost everything that makes it the most unique pool in Vegas. In addition to those downtown and the Strip, there are several off-strip hotels that operate pools in the winter, including Green Valley Ranch, Red Rock, and South Point. This list is not all-inclusive, so be sure and check with your hotel before booking if having an open pool is important to you in the wintertime. And just know that they all will still be weather permitting, and the hours and offerings like drinks and food are also going to be reduced. If you are planning a trip to Las Vegas this winter, you need to know about the sponsor of this video, and that's Plannin. If you've watched the channel very long, you've heard us talk about Plannin before, but it is a travel booking website that can save you up to 40% on hotels, not just in Las Vegas, but worldwide. I have literally booked rooms on Plannin that were cheaper than my MGM Rewards Gold rate on the MGM Rewards website, and it's not just for hotel rooms anymore. They also offer experiences like excursions, tours, and more, and now you can even book your next cruise on Plannin. It's totally free to use whenever you sign up for a Plannin account using our link in the description box down below or the QR code on the screen right now. You'll even be helping out Show Me Vegas bring you more travel content like this video right here. So don't wait, sign up for your free Plannin account today and save up to 40% on hotel rooms, a bundle of money on your next cruise, or even a few bucks on your next tour or excursion in Las Vegas. Once again, the link is in the description box down below. Alright, one of the big draws in Las Vegas for me visiting during the winter is the Christmas season. Vegas offers a lot of cool Christmas-themed events and attractions, one of the more popular of which in recent years will not be returning to the Strip this year. The ice rink at the Cosmopolitan is evidently not going to operate this year and apparently never will again, because some internet sleuths recently found that the Cosmo is attempting to sell the entire package. The cooling system, the walls, the ice skates, you name it, even the Zamboni are all up for sale on an auction site. And since the hotel has not announced the rink as of yet, it's pretty obvious they're done with it. That's a shame. I always thought that was a cool scene. We actually did go to that a couple of times. Even skated there once and it was a lot of fun. Never fear, if you do want to do some ice skating on the Strip this holiday season, Fontainebleau is reopening their Oasis ice rink on November 24th. We went to this last year and it was pretty neat. They rent fire pits and cabanas and they serve special Christmas cocktails and screen holiday movies on the big screen. I will say it was extremely crowded the evening we visited last December, so much so that actually skating was pretty difficult, but it was still a fun time. Now, speaking of other holiday events in Las Vegas, I can't possibly list them all, but some other popular Christmas activities include Enchant at the Las Vegas Ballpark in Summerlin. This is really cool. You do see this in other cities around the country, but it's still a really neat event. Glittering Lights, which is a drive-through light display at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, is back again, and World of Illumination, another drive-through light display at the M Resort, is once again going to be in operation. Of course, one of my favorite things to do in Las Vegas around the holidays is just take in all the Christmas decorations. A lot of the Strip resorts go all in on their Christmas decor, especially the Bellagio, where the Christmas theme in the conservatory is back and should have opened today, November 15th. It will be on display until January 3rd, and if you haven't visited the conservatory at Christmas, you're really missing out. Somehow it gets better every year. Backtracking on the calendar a little bit, the Las Vegas Grand Prix returns to the Strip next weekend for a 3-day event, culminating with the big race on Saturday, November 22nd. The start time has been moved up 2 hours this year to accommodate fans. It starts at 8 p.m. this year. The last 2 years it has been 10 p.m. And from what I understand, ticket prices were a little bit lower this year also, although I think I was a little bit too late to dig up some examples. Inventory is now low and I believe prices have shot up. The Las Vegas Grand Prix is settling into its own in Las Vegas now after a lot of consternation the first 2 years. It is still a big disruption to Las Vegas, and it starts setting up in early September for a late November race. If you're visiting Las Vegas this winter, keep in mind if you come in December, you're probably still going to have obstructed views. Not very good views of the Bellagio fountains because it does take them until almost the end of December to finish tearing down. That's a topic for another day. I've covered that the last 2 years in separate videos. If you want to see my opinion on that in the past, check out these videos. I'll link them down below. Alright, my favorite part of these videos is always talking about new stuff coming to Vegas, and there's quite a bit to talk about. Let's start with restaurants. Carbone Riviera is officially open at Bellagio, and it is one of the more highly anticipated restaurants to open in Vegas in quite some time. This is a seafood venture by the owners of Carbone at Aria, which is a phenomenal Italian restaurant, one of the hardest reservations in town to get. The new Carbone Riviera occupies the space that used to be Picasso right on the lake, and in case you haven't heard, they have a yacht. Sort of. They call it a yacht, I say it's a boat, but it's certainly an expensive one, and if the price is right for you, you might just have the opportunity to even ride on the lake while the fountains go off. I don't believe this is supposed to be a permanent thing, more of a celebratory gesture for the opening of the restaurant. Either way, Carbone Riviera is open at Bellagio. Boa Steakhouse is open at the Grand Canal Shops at the Venetian Resort. This is a glitzy LA steakhouse. They have 3 locations in Southern California, 1 in Austin, Texas, so this makes their 5th location. It's also their 2nd attempt at Vegas. They previously operated one in the Caesars Forum Shops until 2012. Again, this one is at the Grand Canal Shops at the Venetian, and it is now open. Siegel's 1941 is closing at the El Cortez, and it's going to be replaced by, drumroll please, a steakhouse. No name has been announced yet. I personally think El Cortez needs a diner like Siegel's, but I will admit I've never seen it busy. We now know it's going to be moving into the old Margaritaville space at Flamingo, and it's yet another country bar. Category 10 by Luke Combs will be moving into the space in the future. They're saying fall 2026, but come on, this is Caesars Entertainment, so add at least 6 months to that. Even though country music isn't really my thing, and it's the 3rd country bar to open on the Strip in the past couple of years, still a cool addition to the Flamingo. Speaking of Flamingo, word is that one of their newest restaurants is already set to close. Havana 1957 has not gained traction like they'd hoped. I did eat there the last time I stayed at the Flamingo, and I really enjoyed it, especially the mojito, best mojito I've ever had. Apparently the restaurant is operated by the same company that runs Cafe Americano at both Caesars and Paris, and they're apparently going to transition Havana 1957 into another Cafe Americano location. Switching from restaurants to bars, a new tiki bar is coming to Excalibur, which sounds kind of weird for a medieval themed hotel, but it also sounds pretty cool at the same time. This is well under construction, and it's supposed to open in December 2025. The M Resort is set to open their new hotel tower before the end of the year. If you're not familiar with the M, it's in extreme South Las Vegas. It's the official team hotel of the Raiders, and it looks really nice. The new tower is adding 375 rooms to the property, and it will open on December 1st. The Magician's Room has opened on the Link Promenade, and I didn't hear much about this until it had already opened, but it looks like a great time. Part showroom, part lounge, they offer food, drinks, and magic shows 6 days a week, dark on Wednesdays. While it's still more than 2 years away from completion, the athletics ballpark on the site of the former Tropicana is actively under construction, and Bally's Corporation has released some renderings of the impressive development that they want to accompany the ballpark. And it's crazy. If you'll remember, Bally's Corporation operated the Tropicana. They don't own the land, but they do have a long-term lease and the rights to operate on that corner. What they want to build is so busy it looks like a carnival, but the intent is for there to be 2 hotel towers, a 3,000-seat theater, hundreds of thousands of square feet of dining, retail, and plaza space, as well as a couple of parking garages. The rendering is really busy, but it does look awesome if it actually did contain all this stuff. How realistic is it? Hard to say, especially since Bally's Corporation is in financial trouble and really in no position to be able to afford something like this, or even the financing to get something like this done. We can all hope, though. If it does come to fruition, it's going to be built in phases, with the bulk of it not opening for a couple of years after the ballpark actually opens. The Hard Rock Guitar Tower is rising from the desert, and it's going to be massive. I think people are just now realizing how tall 660 feet is. This thing is going to absolutely dominate the mid-North Strip, mid-strip, North Strip, whatever you consider it. It is absolutely massive, and it's going to dominate that part of the Strip, especially because it sits right on top of the street. Ellis Island is getting close to being finished with their renovations, and it looks outstanding. The new casino addition and the LED boards on the outside are really sharp, and they just opened their new rooftop bar. Man, that thing's going to have an unbelievable view of the Grand Prix. I do intend to stay at Ellis Island and bring you guys a review next year once the renovations are fully complete. Durango Casino and Resort in Southwest Las Vegas continues to expand. They've been working on an addition to their casino, a new high limit room. That's going to open on December 15th, but they recently revealed that they're going to continue to expand. In January, they're going to break ground on yet another expansion, this time adding 275,000 square feet to their building, including a bowling alley, movie theater, new bars and restaurants. Basically, they want this to become what all the other station casinos are. Durango is already awesome. Don't forget to check out my video on it. Link below. Finally, the Four Queens has finished the renovation of their North Tower, and if you want to see what it's like, check out my video from just a couple of weeks ago. I was pleasantly surprised. Alright, time for a few quick hits. National Finals Rodeo returns to Las Vegas once again December 4th through the 13th at the Thomas & Mack Center. This is an annual thing, but it draws big crowds. Boyd Gaming is demolishing the Eastside Cannery. That's a rather nice looking facility that closed back when the pandemic hit and never reopened. Well, now they've said they're going to demolish it. Walk-Ons at Harrah's has closed, and that's a shame because I had a really good meal there when I stayed at Harrah's. Bad location, up on the second floor, back on your way to the monorail. Just not a good spot for a restaurant. Anything is going to struggle in that space. Suns Out, Buns Out is back at Resorts World. I thought it was gone forever when it was replaced by that pop-up burger joint, but it's back. I saw it in another video, and I'm excited about that because that's a great breakfast spot at Resorts World. Again, Suns Out, Buns Out has returned. American, the bar on the Link Promenade, has closed, but it will be reopening at TI. Speaking of TI, rumors have been circulating that the Pirate Show will return in 2026, if only for a limited or even a one-time show, which didn't make sense to me at first, and then TI came out refuting that story, calling it just a rumor. So, is it or is it not coming back? I'd lean toward not. If sports are your thing, this winter you can go watch a football game at Allegiant Stadium. Both UNLV and the Las Vegas Raiders have home games left to be played in November and December. The Las Vegas Bowl will be played at Allegiant Stadium on December 31st. And of course, the Vegas Golden Knights are back in action at T-Mobile Arena. If you've never seen a hockey game at T-Mobile Arena, you absolutely should go see it. You don't even have to be a hockey fan. It's a phenomenal event and you are guaranteed to have fun. And while we're on the topic of sports, congratulations to the Las Vegas Aces for winning their third WNBA title in the past 4 seasons. Let's finish this off like always talking about events, shows, and residencies in Vegas this winter. At the Sphere, the Eagles continue with dates in January and February. The Backstreet Boys have dates in December, including one on New Year's Eve that starts at 10 p.m. and caps off with a New Year's Eve countdown. How cool is that? The Zac Brown Band is playing dates in December and January, and No Doubt has been announced for summer 2026. I know that has nothing to do with winter updates other than the fact that it just hit the news. At Caesars, the Coliseum, Mariah Carey has some Christmas shows at Caesars in late November and early December. Tim McGraw has 2 shows in December. Jennifer Lopez is there in January and again in March. Blake Shelton has a whole bunch of dates in January. Def Leppard kicks off a residency there in February, and Cyndi Lauper, again not in the winter but just announced her first ever residency at Caesars in April. Over at Dolby Live, you're going to find New Kids on the Block there in November and again in February. Chris Stapleton plays 2 shows in February. Bruno Mars returns to the venue on December 30th and 31st. Over at the Wynn, Brad Paisley has 2 shows in early December. At the Venetian, Styx kicks off a run of 5 shows in January, and Collective Soul 3 shows in February. Boy, that takes me back. And of course, this is not considered to be an all-inclusive list. Check out Vegas.com. That's my favorite place to search for shows and residencies. Very user-friendly, not affiliated with this channel in any way, shape, or form. That's just where I go. And that's it for our winter news and updates video 2025-2026. I hope you enjoyed this video and got some good information out of it. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel. Like I said at the beginning, I'm on a mission to get this thing to 100,000 subscribers. There's still a ways to go, but we're gonna get there. As always, thanks for watching, and I will see you in that next video because there's always more for us to show you on Show Me Vegas.